Hi, everybody, and welcome to another. I don't know what this is. It's just a day of me talking to you, a little rants. We haven't done a rant show in a while where I just kind of get into how I feel about everything. Okay. And I wanted to do this with you guys because I really, really do love you all very much. And um I've been just kind of wanting to get into all this crazy stuff that's going on with my friend Joe Rogan and what he's dealing with right now, you know. And hold on, let me see if I can find this. Of course, man, why not? Here we go. Why not? I'm just having kind of one of those days. I need to be a little bit more prepared for this shit. I gotta be honest with you, because I am just figuring it all out right now. Here we go. There we go. I hope we're live. Let's go live. Just figuring it all out. Let's go live, dog. Let's go live. We'll do it live. Here we go. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I love you all very, very much. Today's been an interesting day. I'm not here to tell you it wasn't expected or anything like that. You know, it's another day, another war on free speech, and another attack on stand-up comedy. And really independent thinking. That's really what's going on here. And I have to be honest with you. I can't express enough how disgusted I am in just humanity at this moment. Okay. With comedians and everything going on with my good friend Joe Rogan. So I want to just tell you a little bit about my relationship with Joe Rogan. I've known Joe Rogan since I was 26 years old. I am 49 right now, so I've known him for 23 years. When I got picked up at the Comedy Store, Joe Rogan was very nice to me right out the gate, and I always appreciated him. I've always had a really weird relationship with famous people. I'm quite uncomfortable around them, so I don't like to bother them. I'm not really a call-up people. I think you guys might have noticed that I haven't been on a lot of people's shows, like podcasts, because I'm not comfortable with calling people and trying to get on the show. It's just not who I am. It's never been who I am. So I always have a very awkward relationship with people. I never really felt, I always feel like I'm bothering people when I talk to anybody that is considered super successful. I don't like to do it at the Comedy Store. I remember when I was talking to Joe Rogan about, I was talking to Bill Burr about, I keep fucking who I was talking to. I was talking to Mark Maron in the hallway of the Comedy Store. I think Mark Maron is one of the best comedians working today who does not get credit for that. Even though he gets all the accolades in podcasting and acting, I don't think people appreciate his stand-up comedy. He's one of the best writers, without a doubt. It's not even close at how good of a writer he is. And I wanted to tell him that, and I told him that, and I got really uncomfortable, and I ran right off. So that's kind of who I am. I'm not somebody that does that. With that said, Joe Rogan has always showed me kindness. Has it been a 100% smooth sailing, sunshine, blue skies relationship? No, it hasn't. And I'll tell you, I'm a big part of that. Okay? I'm a big part of that. My using and abusing drugs made our relationship awkward at times. And I 100% deserve it. And that kind of disconnect at some point, it was a big part of me getting sober. You know, it's just like I was touring with him a lot, and I was lost in my recovery, and I was lost, and we stopped touring together. And that really sucks. There's other things I think that were into that I don't really want to get into, but you know, Joe Rogan was a big part of how I paid my rent for a very long time. Back in the day, many years ago, I'd say about, I'd probably say about 7 or 8 years ago, before that, Joe Rogan doing my shows was the only way I could pay my rent. So, I'll always be eternally grateful for what Joe Rogan has done for me. I've known Joe Rogan personally. I am part of the group that the 71 episodes. I had 2 of my episodes taken down. One of them was very early episode. I think it was like episode 25 and then 71. And I know I did a 500 one. And, I'm going to be honest with you, man. When I was abusing, I would cancel shows. So a lot of people go, why haven't you been on a show? That's a big reason. I had a lot of problems. And back in the day, I was canceling at the Comedy Store, so my spots went down to 1 a week. I did it all to myself. I was very much shooting myself in the foot, and I deserved it, man. And I was getting super mediocre, but that's about me, and I want this to be about my opinion on what's going on with Joe Rogan right now. Okay, so Joe Rogan has always been kindness. When I cleaned up my act, he called me up, told me he was proud of me and that I was being a good guy. That he was super proud of how I was kind of getting back on the straight and narrow, And he was doing Comedy Chaos forever, okay? And that's not the only reason I'm here to defend my friend. Shane Gillis, okay? I never met him before the whole thing went down with him, and I defended him. Melissa Villasenor, who I was very much in a good acquaintance with at the Comedy Store, defended her. Leslie Jones defended her. But these aren't people that I hung out with. So, and they never put $1 in my pocket. So it's not really about that. It's just, this is what I do. Because I think it's so important to defend everyone, even at their lowest point. Okay? Because there, but for the grace of God, go I. And what we're seeing right now is, and I've always told you guys this. I've told you this from the start. This is not about words. This is not about misinformation. This is not about anything other than completely and utterly kneecapping independent content creators, in particular, stand-up comics and YouTubers, podcasters, right? Those three. Those are, which Joe Rogan is one of the top guys in all that. You guys can talk about where you see Joe Rogan in the pantheon. Is that what the word is? Of stand-up comics. I have him on my Mount Rushmore of people working right now. That's me. I'll say the 3 greatest sets I've ever seen live. I mean, where it was just the greatest murder in terms of like shaking the room. Funny. Bert Kreischer at Comedy Chaos when he was doing his gun and Starbucks joke. Then it was Dane Cook at Dublin's. And just so you know, Dane Cook and I did not get along for a very long time. I have no reason to. That guy blackballed me from the Laugh Factory for a while. It was very hard for me to get up there. So I'm not defending Dane Cook because he did anything for me. He actually did the opposite. And I root for Dane Cook because everybody makes mistakes. And we have the right to prove that we've grown as human beings, right? And the third and probably greatest set I've ever seen in my life is Joe Rogan at Messy Hall. Those are the 3 greatest sets I've ever seen. I say the top 4 guys are Joe Rogan, Dave Chappelle, Bill Burr, and Dave Attell. Each one is special in their own way. I call Joe Rogan the Godfather, Dave Chappelle the GOAT, Bill Burr the heavyweight champ, and Dave Attell the king. That's my opinion. So I have a lot of love for Joe Rogan. And Joe Rogan has done a lot for me. Joe Rogan has done something that I myself have begun to practice in my own life, which is abundance, which is helping others. Joe Rogan, the tree of Rogan, is just branches wide of people he's helped. Very close to him that he knew very early, and people he's helped on the up and up. Joe Rogan has helped more people than the only other institution. There's probably 2 other institutions, maybe 3, three other institutions that have helped people as much as Joe Rogan, and they are the Joe Rogan Experience. We have the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson. We have the Comedy Store, and I'll throw the Cellar in there, okay? As the institutions that's helped more comics have careers, okay? Joe Rogan has done more for everybody. He has practiced in his life abundance, okay? When I would open for him and he would pay me $500 to open, that was fuck you money to me at the time. Fuck you money. And I, in turn, when I go on the road, and I do much smaller gigs than all my friends, I sell tickets. I'm so thankful for the little group that come see me. I pay out everybody well, because that's what you do with abundance. You help others, okay? You help others. That's what you do. That's how we do it. You help others. And Joe Rogan has done that over and over and over and over again. Joe Rogan has done that. So now we see what is really going on. And yes, he has been part of the pushback to the corona narrative. But just understand, Joe Rogan was a big part of, I'm going to be honest with you, the beginning hysteria of the COVID. He had that gentleman on with a book. That guy was talking about how everybody, there's going to be death in the streets and chaos happening. Joe had him on, and Joe was scared. Joe shut down a bunch of stuff, okay? Joe was fully participating in what was happening, right? And over time, because Joe Rogan is a critical thinker, he started to ask questions like we all have, okay? Like we all have, and we all should. And now we've gone from anti-vax, misinformation, to vaccine hesitancy, okay? Which is simply saying you're making people not want to get the thing with facts, right? And now it's very interesting that this whole thing with Rogan's coming out. This Rogan video has been out for years, probably 4 years. Now, this is old news, old rope, Jack. It's old rope. We've known about this forever. It's old rope. They tried to clip him back then, and it didn't happen. And then what happened? They go after this guy, they go after that guy, they go after that guy. They use mob tactics. I told you that a long time ago. They use mob tactics. What do they do? What does the mob do? If they can't get the top guy, they start taking on soldiers, right? And that's what happens. So you get Joey Diaz getting clipped. You got Callan getting clipped. Ari gets clipped a little. Tony Hinchcliffe get clipped. Everybody's getting clipped, right? That's what just happens. That's what happens. Okay? The Brian Callen stuff turns, nothing happens from it. No evidence is put forward. No nothing. Life's destroyed. No nothing. Because that was a mob hit. You guys can call me crazy. I'm fine with that. That was a mob hit. Right? That was a mob hit. That's what they're doing. And now they're bringing it back. This is not about Joe Rogan saying some M-words, okay? And if you look at the Conspiracy Social Club episode we did, it's called, I believe, P-dotting, right? That's where you have all this data and you hand select each data point, and then you put it together to make it seem like there's some kind of trend happening. When in reality, these little things are surrounded by tons of times where Joe Rogan has pushed back. Tons of times where Joe Rogan has pushed back against this whole stupid ass narrative. Okay? Am I sitting here and telling you that Joe Rogan should be calling the people the M-word? Here's what I'm going to tell you. Okay? I defend comedy at all points, and I'll get to the Owen Benjamin stuff because Owen Benjamin and I are cool. And I'm telling you all, go back and listen to what I said. Go back and listen to what I said. All right? I said shouldn't be canceled. If you're going to say the M-word in this joke, you're going to defend yourself. But I say you shouldn't get canceled. I'm the one who called the dude. I like Owen Benjamin. I'm trying to put a show together for him, and I'm sure right now he's laughing at everybody because he ended up being right. Right? All right? This is not about the M word. Okay? They created this narrative. Joe Rogan is Jon Wick right now. That's what he is. He's Jon Wick. All right? And I put out a couple tweets I'd like to read to you guys real quick to kind of put together what I think about all this shit. Okay? I want to put this out. All right? Here we go. Let me find you the tweets, and I'm going to give you my perspective on all these. Okay? Here we go. Here we go. Let me find the first one. And this is very important, dude, that everybody knows this. I believe that Joe Rogan is Jon Wick, okay? I believe they're sending all the assassins to take him out. This is the scene in the Jon Wick movie that's shown over and over again where he enters a plaza and everybody, for some reason, every assassin has flip phones and they all go off and it's hit time. And they're bringing it and they're calling in everybody because they own everybody. The Vanguard, BlackRock, State Street, all these guys, they own it and they're calling in favors. And Twitter, Facebook, they're all retweeting and liking these things that are pushing back against Joe Rogan because Joe Rogan represents independent media. And I'll get into what everything you guys are going to talk about. Let's get their own opposition. This is meant to be done. This is cultural Marxism in real time. And I'll get into that. All right. So we got Joe Rogan, right? And here's my next tweet. Joe Rogan, just know that Joe Rogan has issued an apology for saying the M word in a comedy bit. While black comedians use the N word, okay, as a noun, a verb, and an adjective in their acts to get easy laughs from the same white liberals that are calling for Rogan's head. This is pure clown bullshit. What am I saying right there? Okay? That is not saying anything about black people not being able to say the M word. And I'm going to get into that in 2 seconds too. Okay? But if we have a word that is so deadly, right? So dangerous, so disgusting, that it drives white liberals crazy. Why do they laugh so hard when black comics use it as a crutch? I mean, and there's some of my favorite comics use it. They're super funny. Dave Chappelle, Tony Rock is the best. They use the M word, and it's funny. But why does the crowd lose it every time? No matter what the context of the M word, white crowds go crazy. If it's such a bad word, why are you going crazy for it? If you hate it so much, why are you going crazy for it? It's very simple. It's a psyop word. This is fitting right into cultural Marxism. That's what this is. Cultural Marxism. And that's why I have a real problem when everyone's like, this is all part of the plan. He's controlled opposition. You don't know Joe. Okay? I've talked about this before. Joe Rogan is the John Madden of the UFC. Okay? Joe Rogan, all right, is the Johnny Carson of podcasting. Right? Those are two mediums that weren't there 25 years ago, and he stepped right into them and dominated them. The UFC brings him a million people watching him all the time, his fights, all that stuff, and then he brings in this podcast, and the dude's got a black belt in talking. The guy's got a black belt in talking. It's the same reason Tim Dillon crushes. Their ability to retain names, things, places, all that stuff is why they dominate. That's why they're so good. I'm an idiot. I can't remember anyone's name or anything. That's why I am who I am. Because I'm an idiot. That's why they dominate. That's why Joe's there. Okay? This isn't television. We just put it on you. You hope people have to go and find your act. Right? I mean, both these things are super outlaw. UFC was super outlaw when he was on it for the longest time. Podcasting, outlaw. Podcasting was a counter to the locking down by the Hollywood industry to basically get people they like who happen to look like them, woke ass shit, okay, to promote them. And so many people went to podcasting because they couldn't get any love in Hollywood. And Joe Rogan, who was just coming off Fear Factor, which everybody said, oh my God, he's going to destroy his career. By the way, kicks off reality television too. Basically, it really pushes reality television. I know we had the Real World back in the day, but really pushes reality television out there. That's another thing he dominated, right? So you got these three things he's dominating. Just dominating. That's why he's where he is. Okay? That's why he's where he is. Okay? This is all cultural Marxism. So my question is this, all right? Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. And then here's my next question. Here's my next question. How many of these people calling for Joe Rogan's to get canceled were appalled when the woke left tried to cancel Chappelle for his trans jokes? Either you're for freedom of speech or you're not. All right? It's flip-flopping, which gets us into what? Cultural Marxism. That's what it's all about. This is cultural Marxism. This is divide and conquer. Okay? This is divide and conquer. You have motherfuckers who can't believe they're trying to cancel Dave Chappelle about a joke when that are equally willing to cancel Joe Rogan for a joke. Listen, dude, I defend comedy and free speech at all costs. Even hate speech, I defend. You have to defend it, okay? You have to defend it, man. You have to defend it at all costs, okay? There are comics out there that are friends of mine that I think the world of that do kiddie porn jokes. I find kiddie porn jokes absolutely disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. You are disgusting for doing it, okay? But I will defend your right to do it, okay? How many of these motherfuckers that are going after Joe Rogan for this woke-ass bullshit saying the N-word were silent during the Ghislaine Maxwell trial, right? So children are getting basically raped by grown men. Quiet. Quiet. Where's all the Me Too people? Quiet. Quiet during the Ghislaine Maxwell trial, right? Quiet. But now they're all fucking coming after Joe because feelings were hurt. Ma, feelings are hurt. I'm so angry. It just makes no fucking sense, okay? We're just living in a fucking clown world. This is all cultural Marxism. So if you're telling me this is part of the plan, that is the plan I'm talking about. It's cultural Marxism, right? You remember when Nick Cannon with his genie hat on was talking about Jews in caves? Do you remember that? And he got in trouble for that, right? And did he lose his job? No. But then the guy on Jeopardy, he does a podcast talking about Jews before, and then bam! He loses his job. That's purposeful, everybody. They do that purposely to get you to fucking want to fight with each other. That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. All of it. It's all about that. This is all, I keep telling you guys, this is what it's all about. It's cultural Marxism, okay? You have to defend comedy at all costs. And once again, we're seeing a bunch of people being super quiet, man. Super fucking quiet. I saw them do it with Chris Hardwick. All these motherfuckers that fucking Chris Hardwick got them their first fucking credit on At Midnight. I couldn't get on there and say a lot because this fucking piece of shit fucking Booker. At Midnight. I couldn't get on there because Bart Coleman didn't like me. Never met Bart Coleman in my life. Couldn't tell you what he looked. I know what he looks like now, but I couldn't tell you what he looked back in the day. Couldn't tell you. Couldn't tell you. But he met with my manager one day and he's like, I'll never, ever have Sam Tripoli on one of my shows. He named another comic. I'm not going to say it. I'll never have Sam Tripoli on one of my shows. Ever. Didn't even know the guy. Go pick him out of a police lineup if I had to. Hated me. Hated me. Never going to work with me. Who can I cry to about it? Huh? Who can I go like, oh my God, he made him suck his dick. Oh, my God. Didn't even get the option to suck his dick. Didn't even get the fucking option to suck his dick. Okay? I was blocked, gone, banned, gone. Never had a chance. Chris Hardwick gave all these people shots. And when they went and clipped them, dude, they all came out with their knives going after him. Disgusting. Still defended him. And then what later on we find out? Guess what happens? Nothing. But everyone was quiet. Everyone super quiet. Okay, with everybody clipping Chris Hardwick. And it just goes on and on and on and on and on. Nothing ever comes out of this shit, right? But these guys are all super fucking quiet. How can you be quiet? Okay? How can you be quiet? If this dude helped you, how can you? Michelle Fine, always take the suck the dick option. How can you do that? How can you do that? How can you do it? How can you do that? I know it's all distraction. I got Marty Hunt here. It's all distraction. I get it, man. I get it. But these have real world consequences. And even if nothing happens to Rogan, it happens to someone who doesn't have 11 million people. If you don't make a stand now, what is it, that old myth that they tell, right? That goes about that it's about how like the lumberjack comes to the forest and says, we're going to cut down one tree. Which one is it? And the forest picks the smallest tree. So he goes, cuts down the smallest tree, turns it into an axe, and cuts down the rest of the fucking forest. That's what you do, man. They're going to come for these little people. People are going to lose their fucking gigs and jobs and careers for this shit. All right? Because you have people who are willing to fucking just stand there and let this shit happen. It's fucking brown shirt shit. It's brown shirt shit. If you don't stand now, it's not about Rogan. It's not about him. You guys keep making this about Rogan and his $100 million and all this bullshit. It's not about that, man. Okay? What it's about is that they're going after independent contractors, independent content makers. Okay? Freedom of fucking expression, freedom of speech. That's what they're attacking right now. And all these fucking institutional entertainers, content creators, Twitter people are fully involved. Because if they know, if it goes the other way and where it keeps continuing, where you have to be super authentic, they have no chance. Because their only hope was to suck as many dicks and eat as much ass and kiss as much ass as possible. And that's why they're all got their knives out coming after these dudes. Right? And let's not even talk about Joe Biden saying the N-word and all the shit he did. This fucking clown world that we're living in. It's a fucking clown world. You're all clowns if you participate in this. Okay? I got Twitter censoring me. If someone talks shit to me, I sent back. They're like, I wouldn't say that. We don't like that. I say, oh, violates our thing. You didn't go after the guy that came after me with his fake ass profile and his fake ass picture and his fake ass name, talking mad shit. So many chicken shits on the internet talking about it right now. You're so upset about this word. You're so upset about this word. If you don't think it's a psyop, you're crazy. Think about what's going on. They've convinced these people, black people can say whatever the fuck they want. I don't care. I'm not trying to say, I want to say this. I love when women call me in bed. That's my truth. Okay? It's what I'm into. Okay? Okay? That's what I like. All right? It's fucking nuts. Try to defend everybody at all costs. All right? And I know some of you guys, I'm getting this shit about Owen all the time. I called up Owen. I called him. I talked about it. Right? I said straight up, it shouldn't be canceled. I said it. You go back, run the tape. I called the guy. I like Owen. We're going to hopefully do a show together. I would like to do a live show with him. I like him. He texts me all the time. He was right about this. Right? More people should have defended him. But they did. And look where we are right now. I don't know what's going to happen to Joe. I think Joe's going to be fine. It's hard to feel it when you got bazillions of dollars, okay? Joe's not the fucking problem, man. It's the manipulation of the masses. Their story's dying, okay? CNN's been a bloodbath. You're all worried about a guy doing a fucking a compilation video of an N-word, which is like freely said 1,000 times on every hip-hop song, right? I mean, this is the only word where one group says it, and the other group, this is how you know it's a psyop. They just defend it at all costs because there's this notion that's the only thing that black people can do that white people can't do, right? It's the most ridiculous thing. I'm blessed, man. I am blessed. There's not a word out there you could say that I'm going to be like, ah, okay? It's a history. I don't know where it came, okay, to call each other the names of the people that oppressed you, right? I don't hear Jews doing it. I don't hear gays doing it. I don't hear women doing it. Whatever group you're talking about, I don't ever hear them take them. But this super manipulated group, which we've seen over and over, Jim Crow laws, drug laws, welfare laws, all this stuff, just manipulating them, breaking them down. So they don't know if they're coming or going. They don't know how powerful they are, the black community. They're so powerful, but they focus on this dumbass shit. We're all part of the universe, man. We're all part of the universe. That's what we are, okay? And you guys, like all you motherfuckers out there going after Rogan, going after everybody, you all have Stockholm Syndrome. Y'all got Stockholm Syndrome. And I feel for you. It's super sad. You all were celebrating Joe Biden, Kamala Harris. Look at what they did to the black community. And you're mad at Joe Rogan, who in like thousands of hours of speech put together a 4-minute clip. Thousands of hours of speech. Thousands of hours of speech. You found a 4-minute clip of the M-word. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And you don't see what they're doing, creating a fucking narrative? You don't see it? You don't see it? Fuck it. I know, dude. I'm going to be honest with you. I wish that he hadn't apologized. Joe Rogan, to me, is like, it's the game. He's the best at playing it. I don't think he should apologize. Because yeah. Well, no. There's some black Twitter going crazy. There's some black Twitter going real fucking crazy right now. Because it's like this just empowering thing. And it's just like, if you really want to take it back, you gotta let it go. That's my opinion. And I don't care, dude. I was talking about how Paul Mooney called me the M-word. And I told on Showtime they cut it out. I hope they do it. I hope they do it. But here's what's going to happen. I want everybody to know this as I wrap this up, okay? I want you to know this, okay? Joe Rogan will survive this. It won't even be close. He'll get through it. Even if Spotify kicks him off, he'll only get bigger. This is like hitting Godzilla with gamma radiation, dog. Hit him with a nuclear bomb. You're only going to make him bigger. And here's what I got to say to all you motherfuckers calling out. You're still going to be mediocre. And no one's going to give a fuck. Just like before the Joe Rogan problem. And just like after. You're going to have nobody giving a fuck. Because you're a garbage person, all right? You're a fucking garbage person. And you're a hack. And you think if maybe, just maybe if someone sees your tweet, they'll give you a shot. But at the end of the day, you ain't good enough. Okay? Some of you fucking chicks out there throwing dudes under the bus for some bullshit. Same thing with you. You don't know the difference between infamy and fame. And you're snitching on people. And guess what? Nobody wants to work with you after that. So how much is being alone by yourself for the rest of your life worth? $100,000, $200,000. How long that's going to last you? For the rest of your life, you'll be known as a snitch. Huh? Something bad happens to you, go to the cops. Go to fucking Twitter, TMZ, all these fucking places. Just trying to get a fucking dollar bill and for everyone to go, ah! Yeah, dude. The M-word stigma is weaponized. It's 100% it is. I don't even know. Go off, Papa Sam. Thank you, sir. Thank you. All right, guys. This is what I think. Yeah, it's digital burning. Dude, I don't even give a shit, dog. I don't want any of their shit. I like where I am. I'd like to sell maybe 100 more tickets in the market, and daddy's good. Chill Bill, son. That's me. Talking mad shit on my own on a podcast. Talking podcast, doing bowling alleys, doing weird gigs, doing theaters. I do it all, okay? Because I ain't afraid. I drop hammer of gods on people, dude. I don't need any of your money, dude. I'm yelling. All right, guys. I love you very much. I got to go to my AA meeting. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Take care. I love you very much. Long live Joe Rogan. Long live freedom of speech. Long live everybody talking mad shit about these unsuspecting fools. I love you all. Take care.